Welcome to VMblog's coverage of VMworld 2020. Today, I'm happy to have Anton Shelepchuk, who is the Vice President of Sales for NAKIVO. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you, Brian.
Great. And can you start by giving us a quick overview of the company?
Yes, of course. So NAKIVO is a privately held company that develops data protection and site recovery software for SMB and enterprise markets since 2012. The solution developed by the company is called NAKIVO Backup Replication, and it is used by over 14,000 companies worldwide to protect the critical data in virtualized and hybrid environments. NAKIVO has a global presence with over 4,000 partners in 140 countries, and we have an impressive track record of 5-star community reviews on Gartner and Spiceworks. So there are over 400 reviews in Spiceworks and over 100 reviews on Gartner, averaging 4.8 out of 5. NAKIVO also has 97% customer satisfaction with support and has also won a Best of VMworld 2018 Gold Award for data protection, the last VMworld which happened in Vegas after it moved to San Francisco. The customers trust us and we aim to deliver on the trust, and today I will be happy to tell you more about our latest developments.
And, obviously we're here today virtually, but VMworld itself is also virtual this year. It's moved to a digital format. What are your thoughts about these, digital events versus traditional physical events that we're so used to attending?
Yes, so I think that the world is changing towards becoming more digital, and internet is being recognized as the most important invention in the history of humankind, allowing us to interact remotely, order supplies, food, and have meetings. I think that in IT, we are lucky that we're able to continue running the business while many other companies have closed down due to the pandemic. Of course, many IT companies have been hurt as well, but it's not as severe as, let's say, movie theaters or airlines. Moreover, I think it's amazing that we can still continue having those events in a digital format. I see this developing further because currently this digital events lack human interaction with each other, like we cannot shake hands right now with you. So maybe shortly we will see a rapid growth of virtual reality technologies where you'll be able to put on your VR helmet and find yourself around other people at VMworld. And I can see the digital events becoming more popular than physical events in the future because it allows companies to save on travel, hotels, renting pavilions, etc.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there has definitely been a big shift in now people working from home. What are your thoughts on this, and how has that changed your company internally and externally?
I'm sure that for many companies it was a challenge at first because we all live in different conditions. Some rent apartments or houses with their friends and they just don't have enough suitable space to work. We have kids and they're very happy that mom and dad are suddenly home all the time, so they want all of the attention. And in addition to this, people generally feel more relaxed at home because our minds perceive home as a place of rest and relaxation, and therefore it took some time to get used to the new ways of working. On the other hand, work from home presents a lot of opportunities as well. You save time on traveling to and from the office. You become more self-disciplined. You learn how to organize your day more effectively. I'm really glad that our company didn't have any major problems because we have a very focused team oriented at achieving goals. In our case, we took the best from the work from home opportunities. We even noticed that some of the team members started overtiming. They weren't even noticing this because there is no factor of having to go back home. So you just kind of sit there and keep working. So I even had to ask them to stop working and get some rest. I think the pandemic also presented some opportunities for NAKIVO. We started seeing more enterprise customers implementing our software. When the economy took a big hit, many companies started spending less. But there is no way in the world they can allow themselves to cut the costs by discontinuing any data protection because that's just too dangerous. And they had to look for high quality but cost-effective solutions that would meet their data protection needs. And that's how they were falling in love with NAKIVO.
And since we're here talking about VMworld, can you tell a little bit about your company and how they partner or how they work with VMware?
Sure. NAKIVO is a technology partner, a technology alliance partner of VMware, and we have been partnered for almost 10 years. Although NAKIVO currently supports other hypervisors besides VMware, VMware has always been our primary area of development focus, and I think it still generates the most customer interest. I would say that 80% of our customers use VMware.
And so that we know more about your technology, can you give us a rundown of your company's technology offerings, what it does, what makes you unique and kind of differentiates you in the market?
Of course, with pleasure. We love what we do here at NAKIVO, and our software is built on 5 main principles. I like to call it 5 whales. First of all, it's an all-in-one solution. It does backup, replication, instant restore, site recovery, and NAKIVO is often referred to as the most universal backup and site recovery software. The site recovery itself is a very powerful tool that deserves to be a separate product, and we will be showing this today later. It allows customers to orchestrate and fully automate recovery from disaster. Also, NAKIVO supports virtual, physical, cloud, and software as a service environments, such as VMware, Hyper-V, and Nutanix, Amazon EC2, Windows, Linux, Office 365, Oracle databases. So we can really tell that it supports all of the most widely used platforms. Our VMware customers love the fact that they don't have to look for another software if they have a handful of physical servers to protect that have yet to be virtualized. I think that one of the most important things about our software is that it can run anywhere, and NAKIVO is the only software actually on the market with such an impressive feature list that can run on the NAS device. So anyone can download NAKIVO on their QNAP, Synology, Asus Store, or Western Digital, and by installing NAKIVO on the NAS device, you get a high-speed backup and deduplication appliance all in once. It performs better than your pre-created backup appliances out there on the market, and it's also much more cost-effective. Besides this, NAKIVO can run on Linux, Windows, as a virtual appliance, or as an instance in AWS. So you just run it anywhere you want. It will run anywhere because it's also very light on resources. It doesn't utilize a lot of your hardware resources. So pretty much our customers that have Linux very much enjoy running NAKIVO in their environments. I will also point out that the software reduces the administration time a lot because you can just set it and forget it. It's super easy to use. Again, it's very intuitive and very user-friendly. And finally, the 5th whale is the ability to save the budget. So with up to 20x cost reduction versus the competition, you can really buy an NAKIVO and then buy a lot of hardware on the remaining budget, because not only you save on the software when you deploy when you implement NAKIVO, you also save on having not to buy a lot of hardware to store your backups. Our software does amazing deduplication and compression. So, the backups will be highly compressed and deduplicated. Thus, you will not have to buy a lot of storage.
And speaking of customers, can you share any recent wins that your company has had?
Yeah, of course. Well, we had many recent interesting customers, but I like the most the story we had with NOAA. The NOAA is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and they have a project called GOES-R. This is the latest generation of geostationary operational environment satellites, also known as GOES-R series. And this is the most advanced fleet of geostationary weather satellites. The program itself brings a lot of benefits and applications. For instance, It allows for improved hurricane track and intensity forecast, increased thunderstorm and tornado warning lead time, as well as such things as quicker detection of heavy rainfall and flood risks, which is super important for humanity. And we are very excited to be a part of this project that helps our planet to be a safer place.
And normally at a time like this, at VMworld, people in the industry will be showing off their recent new products or product announcement updates. Do you have anything that you can share with us? Any recently announced plans that you had to announce?
With pleasure. So we have our head of pre-sales technical department here. His name is Nick, and he is ready to demonstrate how easy it is to protect Microsoft Office 365 with NAKIVO, as well as how to create a site recovery job. Nick?
Great.
Okay, so with NAKIVO, we have added just recently the possibility to back up Microsoft 365. This is specifically related to Exchange items and OneDrive items. So at first, I will show you those functionalities, and then I will also cover the site recovery job, which will simplify the DR process for our customers. So let's start from Exchange server. Over here, I have my Exchange online. And I have my emails inside, so let's back up this account. For this one, I have to go to the Create and click on Microsoft 365 Backup. This will redirect me to the wizard, which consists of 5 simple steps. At first, you need to select what you would like to backup, of course. You can either backup entire account, or you can choose the mailboxes and OneDrive items over here at the bottom to back those up. So let me select my OneDrive account, and I will find my mailbox as well. Let's proceed to the next step. On the destination step, you need to provide the backup repository. This is where you would like to store those backup. In my case, this is on-prem backup repository, and you can have multiple backup repositories, in fact, and you can provide, let's say, you can back up OneDrive data to one backup repository, but all your mailboxes can go to another one. So this is quite flexible. On the third step, you have the option to specify the frequency of your backups. And NAKIVO schedule is quite also flexible because it allows you to create multiple schedules. Let's say we have the case when I would like to back up my Exchange account and OneDrive account every 30 minutes during the workdays. But I can add another schedule, and let's say I would like to back up on weekends only every 2 hours, as an example. So you can add multiple schedules like that, and this gives you quite flexible and robust operations. So you can run your backup at any time. Then we can proceed to the recovery points, and with NAKIVO, you can keep multiple recovery points. Moreover, you can store end of year backups of your Microsoft 365, end of months backups, end of weeks backups. So let's select the last item. And in this case, the very last backup of the year will be stored for me for 3 years. So I can keep end of year backups for 3 years. Then proceed to the next step, which is options. Over here, if necessary, you can run pre and post job scripts. You can generate reports after the job will be completed, and you can also limit the load. This means that you can limit the simultaneous transfer of mailboxes. At this stage, 3 mailboxes will be transferred at a time, but you can either increase it or decrease it based on your environment, of course. That's it. You can click Finish and Run. I will run it for all items, and this backup job will be started in a second, so we need some time to have this job completed. In terms of recoveries, you can recover also any items, and I have already the job which was completed just recently. And for this one, I need to click to recover Microsoft 365. We can potentially go to my Outlook online and delete some items, so we can, let's say, recover the SharePoint online, some email with the attachment and another emails. So let me just delete this up, and we will proceed to the next step. Over here, you need to select what you would like to recover, and on the right, you have the list of recovery points. So let me select the first recovery point I've done 2 hours ago. Let's go to the next step. You can also recover to the same account, or, well, if you have multiple accounts discovered, so you can perform cross-account recovery. In my case, I have only one account, so I'll select this one. Now we need to wait for some time while NAKIVO is taking the data. As you see, it was quite fast. So we see the inbox, and we can recover our SharePoint. We can recover our emails with the attachments. You just pick up those emails and you proceed to the next step. And now you have the recovery type. Either you are recovering to original location, or you can recover to another mailbox. And you have override behavior. So what you can do, you can rename recovered items if such item exists. You can skip recovered item if it exists, and you can override original item if it exists. Well, we've deleted the email, so we can choose any, basically. We can rename it if it exists. So I have clicked on finish, and our job appears on the activities tab. So we can see how it is progressing. It's running, and in a couple of minutes, it will be available back in my Outlook. So while this one is running, I can jump. It just requires 1 minute, maybe less. I can jump to my site recovery job. So I will create a site recovery for VMware. So let's say I have a case I would like to orchestrate my DR. Moreover, I need to build the plan, DR plan, and I would like to test this plan, let's say, once per week. So for this one, NAKIVO has a site recovery job. I would like to mention that this site recovery job is not like a separate tool. As you see, this functionality comes with the backup product, and it comes with Enterprise Edition of NAKIVO. So let's click on Site Recovery. And let's have a case. Over here on the left, I have the list of actions. So I need to build this DR plan, right, out of those actions. Let's have a case. At first, once disaster strikes, I would like to send an email to my, let's say, boss to notify him that I'm starting the DR process. So I find this action, send an email, and I just compose this email. You can select when you would like to run this action. Just before we proceed to the next step, I would like you to understand that there are 2 modes with site recovery orchestration job. The first one, that's when you run real disaster, when you recover from real disaster. And the second one, that's this testing mode. Obviously, in this case, I don't want to send this email to my boss every week, because I'm going to test this every week. So I will run this action only on production mode. And then we can specify waiting behavior. Either we are waiting for this job to be completed, or we can start another job in parallel. So this can be anyone. In this case, let's start another one in parallel. So we'll save, and we have the first action in our list. Then we can actually start the failover job. Oh, well, you know, before doing the failover, let's have another case. I have my DR site, and on this DR site, I'm running some VMs, which are running on a test mode. So let me just free up resources before running the DR. So I would like to stop VMware VMs on my DR site. For this one, I can actually create the policy, which says, let's stop all VMs which are located on my DR host. Let's imagine this would be DR host. And we can add another rule. Let's stop all VMs that are in powered off on state. Yeah, powered on. So as you see, NAKIVO automatically picks up those VMs. So we can create this rule. So we are freeing up the resources on our DR side. And now we have the possibility to do the failover. So we are sure we are having enough resources. For failover, we need to point to the existing replication job and click next. So we've done failover. Then we can wait for some time to let this VM boot up. So we have the action wait, and we can set the time, let's say for 3 minutes, we need to wait. Then you can check the condition. Maybe you would like to verify if this VM is up and running, so you can check. It says if resource exists or if resource is running. So let's select if resource is running, then the resource type would be VMware, and then the name of this resource, let's say contains SQL. So if it's true, we will continue site recovery job. If it's not, we can stop the site recovery job as an example. Maybe after that, after doing the failover, we would like to recover a virtual machine, but recover from the backups. So for this one, we can run backup recovery job. Run job, and we have this VMware recovery job, which recovers virtual machine directly from the backup. So as you see, I have built this plan, and it consists of many actions. This is, again, quite flexible. You can design your DR plan as you wish. Now we are ready to proceed to the next step, which will allow you to enable network mapping. And there are three settings. There is a source network. You can map the source network to the target network. And there is also a test network. So you can select which test network to use when we are running the test mode of the site recovery job. Then let's proceed to the next step. You can also enable REAP of your replicas, and you can put the test schedule. As I've said, I would like to run it on once per week. Let's say on Sunday, I can run this site recovery job. So it will run on test mode and will verify if all the actions can be completed. If everything is fine, of course, it will not report me. If there are some errors, problems, then it will report me. So I need to take an action on my environment. So this way, I will be sure that all my items are recoverable. And as the last step, we can set up the RTO, recovery time objective. In my case, let's set it up to 15 minutes. So if all those actions will be completed within 15 minutes, then the site recovery job will be successful. So I will finish. Now the site recovery job will run for me every week. And this way I can be sure that my DR plan is working. And of course, if disaster happens, all you need to do is to click run job. And then you can either test again, or you can run a real site recovery job. And there is failover type, either planned failover or emergency failover. So with planned failover, of course, NAKIVO will do the replication of those VMs again. And let's say you are migrating some environment. So NAKIVO will replicate the data again and will perform the DR. And if it's emergency failover, so NAKIVO will start immediately performing the DR process as designed in your environment. All right, so as you see, I have launched this one. As you see, this way you can perform the recovery. By the way, we have all our emails successfully recovered, as you see with NAKIVO, you can easily build site recovery jobs to make sure that your environment will be stable and secure. And also with NAKIVO, you can easily perform any types of recovery from Microsoft 365, either it is Exchange Online or OneDrive item recovery.
So Anton, that was a great demo. We really appreciate it. Can you maybe talk a little bit through some of the new features that that you guys have recently announced or brought into the product?
Yes, sure. So since the VMworld 2019, we have been hard at work here at NAKIVO developing new features and implemented a lot of them into the software, such as backup of physical Windows and Linux servers, native backup to tape, instant verification that automatically tests your VM backups and replicas. Also, we have added Microsoft Office 365 backup that you have seen today, Oracle RMAN backup, and backup to Amazon S3 and Wasabi. We have recently added backup of fault-tolerant VMware VMs and vSphere 7 support, as well as Linux workstations backup. One of the big features is the full P2V recovery, allowing customers to restore their physical Windows and Linux servers into VMware VMs, basically allowing any customer to move from physical servers to a virtualized environments. And the latest features to be released in version 10.1, and the beta is available right now for the download, are OneDrive for Business Backup and HP StoreOne's Catalyst integration. Apart from this, I would like to point out that our software is perfect for managed service providers, and we offer ultra low cost per machine subscription for MSPs. And with our multi-tenant edition, they can manage hundreds and thousands of remote customers, taking care of their data protection. And to conclude all of the above said, NAKIVO is a perfect fit for any SMB or enterprise customer, being feature-rich, easy to use, cost-effective, and reliable all-in-one backup and site recovery software.
Well, thanks for being on with us with VMblog. Where can people go if they want to find out more information about NAKIVO and some of the stuff we've talked about today?
Sure. They can go to nakivo.com and download the trial version. They can also get the beta version of 10.1 available right now.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate it.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more from our cloud technology partners, please hit the like button and subscribe. And if you want to get notified next time we post a video, please hit the subscribe and the bell notification. Very important.